Hello, I hope you're all safe and well. I'm Alice, the General Manager of the MIA, and I'm bringing you another question and answer session to help you and your business to navigate through the coronavirus pandemic. So back on the 5th of June, the MIA held a live question time style discussion with a panel of relevant experts. The aim of this event was really to support retailers in their sort of practical and logistical planning for reopening their business to the public. The discussion provided updates on health and safety, looking after your staff and customers, and we heard from two MI retailers about their first-hand experience in preparing to reopen. You can watch this event back if you missed it. The link's on our website, and I'll also include it in the description of the video. One of the panel members was Simon Pollard, who's the Managing Director of Millers Music. During the webinar, Simon had loads of really useful insight. But something that's generated lots of further questions is his comments on updating his internal and external systems for his shop. So I thought it would be best if we have a chat with him today and see if we can learn some more. Hi, Simon.
Yeah, hi, Alice.
So first of all, I was hoping you could tell us a bit about your plans for reopening in general. When are you going to do so? What are going to be the main changes in the way that you operate?
Yeah, so we're planning to open slightly later in the month. We've used the opportunity to refit our store. We're making some changes internally, but our current plan is to open officially on the 26th of June. We are going to be offering bookings in advance, and in fact we have bookings in our stores in our Norwich store, Cook's Pianos. We've got a booking on the 15th, so we've put the booking systems in, which we're going to talk about in a second. But we're planning to reopen. We are not putting in one-way systems. Instead, what we're doing is we're limiting the number of people that come in the store via a booking system and encouraging customers to book in advance. And then that will allow us to socially distance the customers. But it also makes the environment feel very safe for them. For anyone who's been in supermarkets recently, particularly some of the supermarkets with big one-way systems and things like that, it's not necessarily the nicest environment. And what we're trying to do is create an environment where customers come in, can feel safe, can spend the time, and they know that they're going to get the service. So that's what we're doing to prepare. A little bit of refurb work as well, because retail never normally closes, but it's actually an opportunity to get some of that work done. So we should have a brand new showroom, and all our booking systems, everything are being tested now, but we're all ready to reopen later this month.
Good. So you talked about your new booking system that you've implemented. So we've had some questions about how this is going to work.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mentioned it on the call on Friday, on the panel on Friday, and I've done this over the years quite a few times where I will identify a requirement and then go out there, and we found, and I was lucky enough when I was in NAM a couple of years ago to go and visit one of our providers who was providing a messaging service for our teams to communicate before WhatsApp and things like that really took off. It was internal messaging systems. So it's something that I've done over the years quite a few times, is looking for innovative software. And I would say now, probably more than ever, sourcing software and integrating it into web platforms in particular is I know there's a technical requirement, and I'm not musically talented as people will, as most people who know me will tell you, but it genuinely, this isn't a particularly difficult thing to do anymore. And if you've got a web developer or someone who's relatively savvy in these areas, a lot of software can be embedded within minutes into existing websites. So if you're running standard software, maybe on Magento, Shopify, Shopware, if you're running a WordPress site, which a number of our members may well do, then it's a very, very easy thing to do, and they will create widgets or logins or plugins. And what I will generally do, and I'll talk more about the process, then I'll talk specifically about the software, if that's okay, Alice, is I would identify requirements. So we want our customers to be able to book, or we want our customers to be able to do something, we want our teams to be able to do something. And usually it's sitting down in an evening, sometimes with a drink, and sit there and on the sofa, and I'll spend half an hour, quite simply Googling and trying to find the right terms to find some software. I'll read some reviews, I'll have a look, and then what I'll do is I'll go through and form a list, and I will say from that list, right, I'm looking for booking software. What do I want it to be able to do? And initially, you have a relatively simple requirement. So you might say, well, I just want customers to be able to book.
Yeah.
What you will find is through that research process, go and have a look on a few different sites, look at the features. If you want to sign up for a trial, I've done that. I've got so many pieces of software where we've signed up for trials over the years to see what they're like. Poke around in the software. You won't do any damage or anything like that. And go and have a poke around in the software. And lots of companies will give you 7 or 14-day trials. And you can go in, have a look in there, If you're not technically able, I'm sure there's people in your businesses that will. Go and have a poke around, and what I do from that is I'll form a whole load of ideas and features and things. I'll go, actually, that's a really nice idea. Does the other piece of software that I looked at do that? Is this something? Oh, that's great. I haven't even thought about doing it in that way. This is amazing. Here's something that I could actually use either with this software or with another piece of software, and I'll form a bit of a grid. So I'll put the software down the side, then a number of different features. And what I'm trying to do is kind of shortlist the software and say, what does it look like? Obviously, you've got to look at the costs, but for the most part, this sort of software, we're buying and implementing it in hours, and it's costing us pounds for the most part. It's not expensive to do at all, and lots of them have free versions that are available. And the reason they do that, they obviously want to get you buying their software. They're not doing this for free, a bit like Facebook and things like that as well. They're not offering you that service for free. But actually, most of the time, when you move on to the user paid versions, they're relatively cost effective to do. So the process I go through is identify a requirement. It might be, we want to go paperless with our HR systems. I could talk a little bit more account systems. We wanted a booking system, whatever it might be. If you've got specific software, so if you're using WordPress or Magento or something like that, there's app extensions that you can find in their stores. So go and have a browse through. Find a few. You'll find the names that they come under. So is it booking software? Is it online booking software? Find a few of the names, search for a few of the terms, form a few of the features, put the software that you've shortlisted down the side, and then simply go through and put the prices and tick a few boxes and go, that's a great idea, and put some notes down. And that's the process that I undertake most of the time when we're looking for this sort of thing.
Brilliant. So something you also previously talked about was the importance of your website, especially now. So creating an experience for the customer that's no longer as easy to do in store. So people were wondering what sort of things you'll have available virtually.
Well, we've got the booking system. I'll mention the booking system specifically. So we've created a page on our website, which is /book. We're not publicising it yet. You can go and have a look at it if anybody out there wants to go and have a look. But we're putting a booking system on the website. And we're going to put banners on the website as well that point you to that page. So the experience starts from the moment you land on the website. We're going to be implementing a lot more videos on the website. We've got a whole photography session planned to take better pictures. Our teams are rewriting a lot of the product content. I would say that, like a lot of traditional retailers out there, our website has not been a focus for us, and I certainly wouldn't be holding our website up as being a gold standard in our industry. I'd say that it's an area we've identified we need to throw a lot more effort and resource into. But it's relatively simple. I mean, writing descriptions, making sure there's got good images. There's a lot of resources required and a lot of labour to do that. I mean, I would hold up other retailers as having done amazing jobs on those, but going through, rewriting them, personally trying to get across your tone of voice, your expertise, adding images, videos, better written content, and then merchandising the products together. We're also writing blog content, so how to help people, whether it's cleaning instruments, whether it's I'm looking to learn an instrument, and we're going through and writing that content, and again linking that back in to your website. So once you've written the content, and say you refer to reads in your article, make sure that you put a link back into your website to the reads page where you contain your clarinet reads or your saxophone reads and things like that. Just make sure you're linking back. So we're adding lots of content, and it is all of our discussions every day we're centering on content. As an example, this morning we had a quick conference call this morning. We were talking about the store reopening. We've got lots of building work going on. And one of our marketing, or not a marketing team, it's somebody we're using for marketing at the moment, said, well, actually, you should get a video. And all we're doing is we're going to go in the store, walk around the store with a mobile phone. It won't be the highest quality production values and things, but we're going to walk around the store because lots of customers saying, oh, no, you've been there since 1856. Are you closing? Well, no, we're not. And here's a video. So we're aiming to add that sort of content onto the website. And it genuinely, it does not have to be high production value. There are amazing, amazing companies. I mean, I'll probably hold Anderton's up there. Gear for Music have done some incredible work as well. These companies are spending huge sums of money on their videos, but that hasn't happened overnight. And any of you who've met or been fortunate enough to be at a conference or whatever with Lee Anderton, he will tell you that they started very, very simply with very, very low level equipment, and they've built up and built up and built up as they've added value. So I would say it doesn't have to be high production quality. A phone, you can buy a gimbal from Amazon for a few pounds, tens of pounds. It will get you, the image stabilization will be better, and you can wander around and do showcases of your showrooms. Customers want to know what they're coming to. They want to know what to expect. And more than ever, they're going to want a reason to get in a car, to come to a car park, to get on public transport, which is going to be more difficult, and what they're going to experience. And that's what we're trying to get across. So our website in the next couple of weeks will be adding all sorts of information on what customers can expect from us.
Great. So you were also saying that you've made a particular effort to remove and reduce the amount of paperwork that people are pushing around in the business. So your finance system, I think, allows you to do it all online, and you've implemented a new HR system. I think it'd be really useful if you could tell us a bit about both of those systems and how they've made a difference to your operations.
Yeah, I think this more than ever, suddenly everyone had to work from home. We were lucky enough that we'd actually invested in finance systems 2.5, 3 years ago. But we started looking at the paperwork that we were processing and why we were processing all this paperwork. And you've got people working from home, the phone systems had been moved to their homes, laptops. And we started looking at the paperwork and going, why are we pushing around all this paperwork? And we'd looked earlier on in the year at a system that's attached to our accounting system, which may not be appropriate for a number of our members, but I'll come to other systems that might be later. But we use a system called Access Accounting, which is an online accounting system. Now, I'm an accountant by trade, so a few years ago, the idea of moving my finance system to the cloud you can't put your finance system in the cloud. I would say absolutely now. We moved away from Sage Line 50 and moved to Access Accounting. Now, this has got all sorts of budgeting and forecasting and things in it, in the software, and it has a capture system. And what happens is the invoices get sent in. Most suppliers send via email, and all that happens is we forward that in via an email, or we can download a copy of the PDF. We actually upload it into the software. The software, very, very clever, goes in, reads the address, reads the title, recognises the documents, takes all of the figures out of it, and then prepares it for approval. We can go and see that document. So our purchase ledger assistant who does all of this work, go in, upload the document. It comes to me for approval. I check it over and go, yep, we've received that. And then I hit a button and it goes into the finance system. There are other pieces of software that are available that do this far more cost effectively. I believe Xero, 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 which a number of members may know of, and I know years ago it would have been Sage, but I know that Xero now offers a paperless system. So I would certainly have a look at that. I'm not sure whether Sage do offer. I would imagine they are developing and looking at that, and there are other software providers. We've found with our expenses system now, all of our expenses are scanned, and again, do the research, have a look online. We've got one that's integrated into our finance system, but you can actually find, if you put in paperless receipt systems, paperless receipt software, something like that, put in online receipt software, you can find these things, and it's actually more convenient for the team members. You don't have to carry around a wallet worth of receipts, which I've done for almost my whole career in the industry. You can scan them. Most of the time they'll have mobile phone apps as well. So I have apps that I can go in and approve invoices, approve receipts on our software. And it's made a massive difference because our teams are now more productive. The information is available. We're not fishing through files anymore. And actually, you don't have to keep the software. If you look at HMRC, the compliance is that you have to keep the software. You don't have to keep the paper necessarily. So I would advise you to do your own checks on this and talk to your accountants. But we have a very simple filing system now that's based on the day that it arrived, and it gets stamped for any physical documents that we have arrived. It gets put in a file and it gets disposed of. There's also the environmental factors in this. We're not pushing around paper anymore. We're not printing off paper, so we're actually reducing costs in our business as well. And I would say, again, the takeaways from it are, have a look and find software that's appropriate. Probably talk to your accountants. They will probably have other customers that are doing this already. We personally use Access Accounting, as I've said, at their online system, but Xero, I'm sure that Sage will have systems available as well. But talk to your accountants. They'll probably be able to recommend and talk to you about how you can migrate over to these systems. But it's massive. The cost savings are absolutely huge. So as far as finance is concerned, yeah, I was a bit nervous about it. I'm sure there's people out there that would be as well. But there are genuine savings to be made, and it's probably not as difficult as you might think that it is to migrate over on these sorts of things.
Yeah. So what about your HR system?
HR has been amazing. We had so much paperwork in HR. I'll mention, the first one I'll mention is Breathe HR, which I know that Nikki, who any of the members out there who want any advice, the MIA has paid for, and correct me if I'm wrong, this Alice has got a block of Nikki's time.
Yep.
So if you've got HR advice, we're going through a restructuring process at the moment in our business to actually prepare it for the other side, and trying to make the improvements and get in contact. Nikki is available. We've used her before. She's fantastic. She's associated with Breathe HR, which is an online HR system that's available. There's another system called Cypher, which is CIPHR. They actually offer services in HR as well. There's some really, really super sophisticated systems out there. There's another system called HR Online, and they're all available relatively cost effectively. And I would say to you, if you've got your software on site, probably if you've got the right security measures in, it's safer for you to have it online nowadays, because it is very, very easy. If you haven't got all of the latest patches, if all of your software isn't up to date, then it's very easy for hackers to be able to hack software on site, and everyone's seen stories of that happening. We use another system called Bamboo HR, and I do love the system. It is more expensive, it's more costly, but most of the systems will allow you to store the information online. Most of them will have some type of, do you want your employees to have apps and have access themselves? Do you want them to be able to request holidays? Do you want them to be able to request time off, loo time? Do you want to be able to store documents? Do you want to be able to store the records? Again, what are your processes? Everyone's will be different. But we went through a whole process, and we found Bamboo offer online signatures, which is absolutely amazing. So you can send out policies, and then you can ask the employees to e-sign them, and then they'll give you reports of employees who haven't signed the document and sent it back. One of those tasks that you're looking at and going, I spend ages chasing people and trying to remind them they've got to send this back. Well, you simply get reports, and they get reminders as well. They have to sign documents and send them back. So I would say, look for your requirement. Is it a simple requirement? I just want simple record keeping. I just want to know that, the rates that employees are paid and things like that. Is it more sophisticated and complicated? Do you want training records? We've got onboarding processes, offboarding processes. So when you onboard an employee, list of tasks that needs to be done, hire packets that are sent to them, induction packs that are sent. How sophisticated do you want it to be? And the great thing about software like this, you're probably not going to be tied into it. I would say to you, if someone's aiming to tie you into software like that, I'd be questioning why they want to do that.
Yeah.
If there's an upfront investment and there's a significant amount of configuration, that's fine. But I would say to you, I would question that. It's very easy to get set up, trial it, put yourself in, put your partner in, your wife, your husband, your children, and try the software. Get them to try it a bit. Say, does this work? Is it easy? Does the app work? We've tried some software and found actually it didn't work as well as we wanted it to, or didn't meet our requirement. And we've then moved on, and it's very, very easy to do. And, we spend half an hour, a couple of hours on this sort of thing. The time savings are absolutely huge. So I'd have said HR, have a look at the systems. Breathe, definitely have a look at HR Online, Cypher. I mentioned about account systems. I didn't actually mention, Alice, about we've made our contracts for our customers now. We've used DocuSign to template those as well. So we're using DocuSign to get the documents signed. So again, preparations we're making means we can physically distance. We can send a customer contract to sign.
Brilliant. Well, Simon, thank you so much for your time. That was absolutely brilliant. Lots of really excellent practical advice there. So I'll make sure that we include links to all the resources we've mentioned. I hope that everyone's enjoyed watching and that it's been useful for you. So all that's left to say is stay safe, and please do get in touch if there's anything that the MIA can do to help. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.